Hello and welcome back to the CAD tutorial video series. Previously, we created a simple sketch and investigated extruding by addition. In this video, we'll discuss adding a new sketch onto an already existing part and using the dimension tool to put our sketches where we want them. So, before we begin, just want to note that dimensions are a crucial tool in creating a model. Without dimensions, we wouldn't be able to place our sketches exactly where we want them on the part, and it allows us to create a more exact picture of what we want to create. Second, extrusion types are the best method of making more detailed objects. With them, you can add holes into your model, you can add different pieces of design, and generally it allows you to create more intriguing shapes. Finally, the extras, such as filleting and ramps, are not necessary to make a model, but they do help with the appearance of your model. Without them, you wouldn't be able to have rounded edges as effectively as you do with them. So, as we move on, we come back to our inventor, and today we are going to be drawing another circle, but we're going to draw it on top of our cylinder. So, first what we want to do is we want to be going into this top little square here. This allows us to change the orientation. We want to set this so we're looking at the top of our model, and we're going to click on Start 2D Sketch up in the top left once again, and we're going to click on the top of our model. This brings up our classic grid axis, which will allow us to draw anything that we want on top of our model. So we are going to begin, we're going to draw another circle, and this time we're going to put it just anywhere. But before we do that, let's just make sure that we know exactly what size our circle was. If you remember in the previous video, we made it 100 millimeters, and we don't care that it's coming up with this tip here, we just wanted to know how tall it was. So second, now we can go over to our circle. We can then draw our circle just anywhere we want. We're just going to click here, and we want to have a small radius that goes around to create almost like walls. We're going to be creating something that looks similar to a mug, but not quite. Since we made it 100 millimeters before, we're going to make this one 95. So, as inventor realizes what it has to do, we now have a 95 millimeter circle. We can use our dimension tool to click on the center of our circle, and we will click on the outer edge of our model, and that allows us to choose exactly how far away we want the center to be. We want our center to be exactly on the same line as our circle originally, so we put that to 0, and we click on the centers, and we do the exact same thing again, so that both centers of circles are lined up exactly on top of each other. We now have our wall that goes around our model, as so. So we're quite happy with that, and we can finish our sketch. So, brings us back into our 3D view. We can rotate the model just to have a better look at it. Okay, so now we're going to extrude this, and since we now have two enclosed areas on this, we have our outer ring and our inner circle, it doesn't automatically put in which piece to extrude. So we want to click on our inner circle, and then it will do a default extrusion for 10 millimeters, which is what we don't want. Instead, we want to extrude inwards into our cylinder before, and you'll notice down here that it comes up with 4 new menus. We want to make sure we're selected on cut, and we're going to put our distance down. We know that our extrusion was 90 millimeters from before, and we want a small wall from the bottom to allow us to have some space. So we could say we want that to be 5 millimeters, and so we can put into our distance 90 minus 5. Of course we know that this is 85, but it's handy to know that the inventor software can do the maths for us. So again, we can just look inside, and as you can see, we do have a small wall at the bottom. Over on the side, you can see that we can select our previous extrusion, and we can in fact edit it. If we right click on this part in our menu, you'll notice that it brings up a larger menu where we can edit the sketch or edit the feature. We don't want to edit the sketch, as that will ruin our circle. Instead, we want to edit the feature. So this allows us to change the extrusion, and we could change the dimension of it. We could put it down to 80 if we wanted to. We just have to select over it, remove it, and type in 80mm. That brings it up, but just because we've decided on 85, we're going to leave it at 85. So we press enter, and now that is the base of our mug. So next I'm going to show you how to do what's called a fillet. A fillet is a rounding of an edge, and it allows you to create a more smooth finish on your piece. We can select the edge that we want to fillet, such as this, and we can also in fact change the type of fillet that we do between tangent, smooth G2 and inverted. There's not very much difference between tangent and smooth G2, but inverted, as the name suggests, does a fillet that actually turns the fillet inside out. So I'll zoom in on this just so you get a better picture of it. As you can see, it's an inverted curve, which surprisingly enough is from the inverted tool. So we're going to leave it on a tangent because we like to have it just set to the default settings, and it also looks nicer for our model. Next up, you can actually change the depth of your fillet between a range of values. If you do it too high, what can happen is that it will in fact just not fillet at all. So you can just keep on playing with it, add even more and more to see how far you can take it. We can go to 6, probably even further, but I'm just going to leave it at 2 just to keep a nice smooth finish on our cup. So I'm going to click OK on this, and then on the inner edge I'm going to do exactly the same thing. We've got to first turn it so we can see the inner edge, and then we'll zoom in just to see it better. We can click on fillet, and then we can click on our edge, put it to 2mm, click OK, and that's our edge filleted. So now we have a nice round edge at the top of our model. Okay, so that's as much as I wanted to cover in this video, but we of course always remember to save. And then for the next video we're going to be discussing work planes, how to add them, change their visibility, and we'll add a handle onto our mug. So I look forward to seeing you next video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.